Continue to reach those arms out as we reach those armpits down. We're going to hang out here for about another 10 seconds. Trying to find some breath, a little bit of stability today, this evening. We'll go ahead and pull ourselves forward in a nice little up dog position. Kind of getting that back going the other way now. Arching that, kind of squeezing that lower back, lifting those shoulders and that head to the ceiling. Get a good stretch through those abdominals, that whole front side. Kind of pushing those hips into the ground, stretching out the front side of our hips, our hip flexors. Then we're just going to reverse one more time. Pushing those hips back, extending those arms. Again, kind of contracting the front side. Push those armpits down towards the ground. And one more time, pulling forward, dropping those hips, lifting that chest, shoulders, and head. Create some length. And relax there. All right. We're gonna get to all fours here. We're gonna take that left leg, we're gonna extend that out to the side, directly out to the side laterally. And we're gonna kind of almost go into that child's pose again. We're gonna sit those hips back, kind of reach those arms forward. Should feel quite a bit of stretch through that left leg. I want you to really fight to resist that rotation as that leg's kind of creating a kickstand. So try not to drop those hips farther than they'll allow. Want to really kind of fight that rotation. Just like kind of in that child's pose where you're kind of pushing your armpits to the ground, I want you to think about kind of pushing your groin of that left leg towards the ground. Should get a nice stretch through that adductor, that whole inside of the leg. And if we can, that left foot nice and flat on the ground as well. Then we're going to pull that forward, kind of release that tension a little bit, and we're going to keep that leg there. I'm just going to sit back one more time. Same thing, should be a little bit more loose. Still on that same leg. And relax there. We'll come back to all fours, kind of reposition ourselves, and we'll send that other leg, that right leg, out to the side. Same situation, we'll sit those hips back. Try and again fight that rotation in those hips, keep them nice and level to the ground. Hips and shoulders should be kind of parallel to each other. Same situation when I think about kind of driving the groin on that side towards the ground. Get that adductor stretch. Try and get that foot as flat to the ground as we can as well. Trying to get the most out of this. Talk about efficiency with one stretch. We'll pull out of that. Keep that leg extended. Just back off of it a little bit. And we'll slowly sink down one more time. Trying to find where that limit of that stretch is and kind of very sneakily push past it. Always without pain. Anytime you start feeling some stabbing or some ouching, you want to back off of that immediately. But just a little bit of tension is okay. And try to fight that urge to tense up and create more tension. Go ahead and relax out of that. We're going to drop those hips down into our shin box position, where that front knee, both ankles are going to be at 90 degrees. So in this position, we're going to work a little bit of hip extension. So this front knee, we're going to drive that into the ground. We're going to get those hips up nice and high. This back glute, we're squeezing. So we're going to get here first and kind of find some stability. And then whatever your back leg is, probably your right leg, that right arm, we're going to reach up and over as well. So this whole right side is going to be a nice, good, long stretch through that lat, through that hip, through that glute as well. We'll pull off of that and sit that back down. Kind of give ourselves a second to reset. Same thing, we're going to drive up into that hip extension, get that glute nice and active, We're going to reach that right hand up and over one more time. Create that length. Pull that back down and relax. We'll go ahead and rotate those legs over to the other side. We're going to find a little bit of comfort in this position first to start. All right, we'll go ahead and drive those hips up. Squeeze that back glute nice and turned on. And we'll take that left arm up and over, pushing those hips forward, keeping those glutes nice and tight. Pull that back, sit that down. Take a second to relax and reset. Again, both of those knees should be 90 degrees. I know sometimes this back leg gets kind of pulled in a little bit tighter. I do want to keep that nice and wide. Let's hinge back up into that extension. Glute turned on. Right, arm goes up and over. Create that length. Breathe. On the next exhale, pull that down and relax. All right, we're going to put those last two moves together so we're going to get a little kind of dynamic flow going on here. I think this will be the best direction to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into that leg extension. We'll go that first side first. We'll go that left leg out first. So what it's going to look like is we're going to push back into this extension. All right, and as we kind of release and pull through, we're going to bring that right leg through and sit into that 90-90. All right, so that left leg is going to stay out nice and long. We're going to sit that back, feel that extension through that left leg. Then we're going to pull that body forward, pull that right leg up, and sitting into that 90-90 and that shin box position. All right. Once we get here, we'll take that up into that extension and we'll finish again with that arm reach. So we're just kind of putting it all together here, everything we've just been working on. So let's go ahead with that left leg extended. We'll sit those hips back. We're just going to hold for a couple seconds. Pull forward, drop it into that shin box. Go right up into that extension. And with that overhead reach, we'll pull that back down, reset in that leg extension, and we'll go again. So we're just going to go about 3, maybe 4 times each side, see how it feels, and reaching over. We'll just kind of get to these flows. Want to really focus on taking it at a pace that we are comfortable with, one that we're getting the most out of it. Alright, if this is going a little bit too fast for you, if you need to hold in any of those positions, please slow it down and hold those positions. I like to spend a little bit of time with that kind of static stretching, just kind of loosen everything up, and then really test that mobility and kind of flowing from one movement to the other with those dynamic flows. Alright. I'm going to get one more reset with both of those legs up underneath. We'll switch to the other side with that right leg extended. First time we'll go a little bit slower, sitting those hips back. And then we'll pull now that left leg through, sitting into our 99, into our shin box. Extend those hips. And again, now our right arm is going to go up and over. Feel that stretch again through that whole right side, through that hip flexor, through that lat. We'll pull that back and reset. All right, I'll go a couple more times on this side. Again, pausing in any of those positions that we feel like we need an extra moment. This overhead reach is really doing it for me through this hip flexor real tight. We'll sit that back. We'll go 2 more times this side. And trying to sync this with our breath, inhaling as we come down. Usually when we're kind of pushing the limit of that stretch is usually when we want to exhale. So we inhale, Exhale as we reach. Inhale and pull back down. All right. Feel pretty good there. We got some movement through those hips. We're going to move forward now. We're going to kind of stick with that 90-90 a little bit here. We're going to transition to a little bit of core work at the same time. I know, very strange combination. How are we going to do that? So our shin box here, we have with those arms, or with those legs 90-90. We're going to do a little bit of different reach. Instead of an overhead reach, we're going to do reaching across. So our front knee, we're going to reach that chest out and over. And then opposite that front knee, so left leg here, we're going to reach with that right arm kind of diagonally across. So we kind of deepen that stretch through that glute of that left leg. We're going to hold there for a breath or so. Next inhale, we'll pull that back up to the sitting position. This is going to be a very fun transition. We're going to go from this shin box. We're just going to go right down on our back. We're going to go into a nice alternating dead bug. So we're going to push that low back into that ground. There are a couple different options. You can go same leg or alternating legs. But leg and arm oppose each other. All right, I'm doing opposites. So when we get fully extended, still want that low back nice and pressed into the ground. Pulling back to neutral. Press that low back into the ground and extend the opposing sides. Pulling back to neutral. All right, so from this position, we're going to go into that shin box on the other side. So we're going to roll ourselves up. We'll rotate to that other leg. We're going to get a little bit of rotation so I'm facing the camera. All right, so now we have that right leg out in front. And same thing, we're going to rotate, we're going to reach that chest and rotate, reach that left arm out and across. Feel that glute through that right glute. We're going to hold out here for a breath. On the next inhale, we'll pull that up. You know the drill. We're going to roll back down into that dead bug. Maybe one more dead bug each side. Another one that'll have to sync with that breath. Exhale on that extension. Inhale on that up. Rolling that up back to the front side, first side of that shin box. All right, so we're going to alternate here. We'll probably go about 2 or 3 rounds each side here. It's a little bit quicker without the explanation. Just want to really make sure that we're keeping that core engaged as we go through that dead bug. All right, not going to be super, super taxing, but just a way to work a little bit of that kind of nervous system, keeping that core engaged as we work. So a little bit of a stretch strengthening cycle here. Active engagement in that core. Trying to push that low back through the ground when we get to that dead bug. And rolling ourselves up, trying to find some control in that transition. A little bit more kind of dynamic stretching here as we transition from one movement to the next. Gives us a chance to, as we talked about before, really test that mobility, kind of moving from one position to the next as fluidly as possible. I'm going to go one more time each side on these shin boxes. Core still nice and strong. Last time, reaching with that right arm. Rolling down to our dead bug. And we will finish with a dead bug on the opposing side. So we're rolling that back up, shin box. Really turned around here. And we'll roll back down for our final dead bug here. Lots of pressure through that core. And then we'll roll that back up to finish. I'll give you an extra second there if we need it. And we've got one more set of fun. All right. We're going to get a little bit more primal here in our final set here. Work some of our beloved kick-throughs. So we're going to start in our primal position, all fours, hands under those shoulders, actually pressing into that ground, screwing those hands so those elbow pits kind of come forward a little bit. Knees are underneath those hips, but we'll tuck those toes and put pressure on them so we lift those knees up. So we are on hands and toes here if we're ready to crawl. So first position, we're going to go for a nice little kick through. We're going to take that left leg, we're going to kick that through to the right side. All right. Very, very active in that left hand as we create that bridge. Very active in that right foot as we're pressing down as well. So remember talking about screwing that hand into that ground so we're creating that nice, good, stable force. All right. We're going to take that left leg, we're going to pull that all the way through and extend. Here's that leg extended position that we've seen sometime before. All right. Again, we're going to sit those hips back. And from here, we're going to really just kind of crawl and push our weight over to that extended leg. So we get a nice little deep lunge on that left leg. Or I guess your right leg's extended, so on your right leg maybe. All right. Once we get here, we're going to shift back over and we're going to get into a nice hamstring bow position. So kind of that knee comes all the way to the ground. We're going to definitely have to redo this again, so don't worry about it. We're going to get a nice little hamstring bow position. We're going to hold that for a few seconds. And then we're going to go one more time, rotate all the way around and hit that hamstring bow on the opposing side. So now on that right leg, right hamstring, getting worked. Again, hold that for a few seconds, and we're just going to reset back to that primal position. A lot of moving parts, but I gave some time to explain it. So we're going to try on that same side just so we, repetition is key, right? So we'll take, again, that left leg, we'll kick that through to the side. All right. We'll pull that same left leg all the way through with that leg extended. All right. We're going to shift that weight over to that side. So we're in that deep lunge position, kind of like our Spider-Man position. Am I allowed to say that? It's okay. So you feel a little hamstring there. We're going to push over that knees, then you're going to come all the way around to the ground so we can get a proper hamstring bow. Kind of pulling those toes back towards us. Again, we'll hold that for a breath or for a few seconds, and then we're going to put weight on those hands, rotate all the way around 180 degrees, and hamstring bow that opposing side. Again, for a few seconds, then we're just going to crawl back to that start position. All right, we'll do the other side now. So we're going to take that right leg, kicking that through. So that right arm is going to get some work, creating that bridge. We're going to pull that leg all the way through to the other side, sitting back. We're going to shift that weight over into that deep lunge. You can keep that chest a little bit taller on this one. Shift that weight all the way around 180 degrees, or really 90 degrees, I guess. Pulling back on those toes. Should feel that through that hamstring on that right leg. Then this is one we're coming all the way around 180, pulling on that other leg. Hamstring, hamstring, hamstring. And then we're pulling that back to our starting position. We got one more time on that side to finish things up. So right leg kick through, nice strong bridge. Pulling that all the way across, sitting back. Shifting that weight over into that very deep lunge. Rotating 90 degrees, hamstring bow right leg. And then switching 180 all the way around, hamstring bow left leg. And then we'll pull that back to start. All right, that's going to do it. We are out of time. appreciate you hanging around for a little bit of strength flow this Wednesday evening. Hopefully you have a great evening and got some mobilization. We'll see you next time.